Will from Will Development. This is my 232nd weekly update. So just coming off of my 10-week program, I learned a lot. It gave me some new ideas as to what to program in for my next block in terms of accessory movements, especially accessory movements. And it also gave me a lot of new ideas on what I need to work on, is the biggest thing I learned. This week, I made the decision that I wanted to do kind of a bit, just a quick little hypertrophy week, just an in-between week where I would do lots of volume at moderate weight with my three main movements being, in my case, the press, the squat, and the deadlift. And coming off of that, I ended up with a 170 strict press. Is strict enough. I wanted to start from down here and just press it, but it ended up here and kind of a bounce down and sort of a rebound out of the bottom. But I didn't use any leg drive for it, or hip drive for that matter. So I'm considering that strict. I think most people would. My goal would then to be, within the next block, to be able to do that for 2 or, somewhere in that range as an actual strict, and maybe finish off the next 10 weeks somewhere around 200 would be really awesome. Even if I just got to like 185, that would be awesome as a strict press. In terms of squats, I also did, so I ended up doing a new PR, which was 10 by 135, which if you're not subscribed, subscribe so you can see my 2 videos, my TWO videos, the week of videos that come out every Wednesday. It's essentially every video, all the videos, the training videos that I put on Instagram throughout the week, except it's just in a little compilation with some music in the background, and it's just for people who don't use Instagram. If you don't watch or use Instagram, it's there every Wednesday. It should release at like 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So if you want to see these lifts I'm describing now, you can check those out. But I did hit 10 reps of 135 strict. Things got a little dicey there. Some of them were more of a layback press, but it's still something that I had never been able to do before. I can remember a time in my life when just hitting 3 push press reps at 135 was the reason I didn't actually complete an event at a competition I was in. So thinking about that and to where I am now gives me a little bit of fuel, and honestly is a little bit frustrating to think about how weak I was back then versus where I'm at now. Squats, I decided that I hadn't actually hit 225, which is technically above body weight, for 10 reps in the longest time. I used to warm up with sets of 10 all the way up till 225, and I kind of made the executive decision that it was sort of wearing me out for my later reps in the session. And so I sort of moved towards doing, 5 to 6, just something to get some blood moving, get my body used to that weight, that sort of thing. So I decided to do 3 sets of 10 of 225, and I actually, the first set was just easy. Honestly, I felt really good about it. I was able to do like 3 in a row with 1 breath, all the way up till 9, and then it was just, then just 1 more, basically, which I did that last one while actually breathing while I descended and coming back up. Felt good, and then I actually got my second set filmed, which was significantly harder. My body was not prepared for that kind of abuse, mostly because I just haven't put it through that exact type of abuse in so long that it just did not know how to handle it. And so the set you'll see is going to be that second set, which was like woof, and then the third set was really rough. But you do 30 reps at over body weight for a day. That's that's more volume than I normally do. I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just just saying that's definitely out of the realm of where I'm normally training at. So it was definitely something different, but I wanted to do it. And then on deadlifts, I think I did 245 for for 1 set of 10. I did 225 for like 3 sets of 10, and then I was like, you know what, this isn't feeling awful. Let me just go up by another 20 pounds and do that. And I'm a little disappointed with how that one went. I wasn't locking my back out. It honestly felt like I was. and nothing moved once the bar started moving, but that's not how I wanted those reps to look, even though that is how they ended up looking, and it's just something I need to work on. And moving forward, when I start my next 10 weeks, I'm definitely going to be a lot more conservative on my deadlift, really focusing on that form a lot more, because it's what's going to prevent me from getting injured and, potentially losing more power. Now, that being said, I did do some other things this week that actually made me feel good about myself, in a sense, I guess. Some of the things, I don't film basically any of my accessory work anymore because most people don't care about that stuff. And, it's accessory work. There's not really a world record for many accessory lifts just because they're also vastly different and it would be ridiculous. But my point is, it's nothing really to brag about. But I tried some things out this week to see what I wanted to do for my next 10 weeks. And one of the biggest things I tried out was after I hit my 10 reps on 135 on the press, I said I want to do some log work, but I know I need a little more conditioning in my programming, and there's no reason I can't put that in there during some of the accessory movements. And I said, you know what, I also want to do more strongman stuff because I tend to do a lot of powerlifting movements in terms of bench, squat, press, deadlift. And, if I want to be a strongman, I've got to be very familiar with the implements, or at least, touch base with them every now and again. And so I decided on a few accessory things I'm going to do. For the press, I'm going to be doing high volume clean and press with a log. So I tried it out, did 3 sets of 10 after my pressing on Tuesday, and it was not so bad on the first set. So basically cleaning and pressing, all I did was pulled it once, put it in my lap, and then just cleaned it and pressed it back into the lap, clean it, press it, and I did that 10 times. I didn't want to go all the way to the ground because I didn't see a reason to need to tax my back like that, because I'm going to be doing that to my back on deadlift days anyway. But my point is, in doing that, by the third set, I was like dying. So it sort of opened my eyes, and I was only using 100 pounds, so it was like just really put everything in perspective for me and how much I probably should be working on my conditioning a little bit more, because it's going to help carry over into like moving events, and especially when there's things for reps, which a lot of times the log is going to be for reps. In a lot of comps it is. I shouldn't say a lot. It's about 50-50 here in Florida from what I can tell, but if that event comes up, I don't want to have to be using my entire training block leading up to that competition, getting back used to it. I want to be used to it already and then go, okay, I have to be prepared for this weight with this movement. And sometimes it's just a clean and press away, which is, going to be even easier if I get used to cleaning it every time. But there's nothing wrong with a little extra conditioning, especially with strongman implements, and using them in a way that could potentially be in a competition. And for squats, I didn't actually try anything out because I was totally fucking gassed. But I did have a couple ideas. It's either going to be safety squat bar as an accessory or stone squats, because it's basically a front squat, but obviously it's with a stone. And it'll be a good accessory movement that has legitimate carryover to strongman, especially with the stone. My plan is basically of 160, and then it goes to 200 and 220 at the gym. So I want to work with 160 for a couple weeks, make it so I can do sets of 10 with that, no questions asked, then bump up to the 200, and then just work my way from there. I figure if I can just lap it and then clean it every time, which it's a similar movement, but it's a little different from the log. Actually, they're just about the same movement, but it's different. It's different feedback from your body, usually because the weight's a lot heavier in general, and you're gripping it differently. And I just need to work on those things more. I might do the stones as a lower volume, just because they're so taxing, and I'm already doing a similar movement because of the log. Obviously, I haven't made any strong decisions just yet, but that's where my head's at a little bit. And in terms of my deadlift, like I said, going to keep the weights really conservative and just work on form, and then do a lot more pull-ups and rows, that kind of thing, because I had a distinct lack of those things in the previous programming, and I need to just get back on that, and I think that's what's going to ultimately help me out with these things more. So that's just a little bit about where my head's at. I'm going to do a couple more videos soon. Next week I'm going to be meeting up with a good friend of mine, David, who is a really inspirational guy, and we're going to be doing a sit-down, doing a little bit of Q&A about, it's going to be for both of us. He's going to, I assume, doing some for his channel, asking me questions, and I'm going to be asking him some questions. He has cerebral palsy, so it should be a very interesting and informative and hopefully mildly inspirational, at least from his part, story to hear and deep dive conversation to watch. I'm also going to be doing a video pretty soon about my back injury and what actually happened. I've mentioned before that I didn't actually get injured in the gym, but doing what I did in the gym is what exacerbated it and actually made the injury sort of come to light. So I'll do a whole video on that. It actually won't be that long, but then I'll talk about the things I've done to sort of overcome that and different ideas of sort of helping with back pain. But that's all in the coming weeks for now. Look forward to next week, and be sure to check out my 2 videos to see the lifts that I did during this week. And if you don't, then what's your excuse?